thumbnail I've ever done. Probably not. But Bob the Cigar Guy here, Las Vegas, right? First day of PCA in the books. Well, first day on the PCA floor in the books. There we go. Get rid of all that. Got all these things popping up, right? Chief's not here doing the computer. He's out. They went out to get some grub. We haven't eaten since breakfast, and that boy is tired. He takes a lot of groceries to keep something that big moving. But I got to tell you, by the way, this is sponsored by our friends at Villiger. That's right. Villiger has given us the opportunity to come in and give you the behind-the-scenes Bob the Cigar Guy look of PCA 2024 in Las Vegas. If you don't know what PCA is, I'll tell you right now. PCA is when all the manufacturers of cigars and all the retailers get to come together, and it's a huge event, a Black Friday kind of sale. A lot of the manufacturers are releasing brand new cigars, and I've got some of those cigars. And I'll tell you what, I'm going to get on one of those cigars right now because I want to smoke a cigar. What I got, which blew my mind, I had some great cigars today, but this cigar blew my mind, was Dunbarton Tobacco and Trust's Bronzeback Umbagog broadleaf wrapper, if I'm not mistaken, at a special priming where it's a little rosado, it's a little more, it's just a little more, right? And so, man, it's breezy out here. Let me see if I can light this cigar. But it was amazing. This Bronzeback is fantastic. If you like the Umbagog, but you wanted a little more, this is a cigar that you're going to want to get a hold of and try. Now, because I'm shooting from my phone, I see that there's 15 people on right now, and I can't see your comments. So if I don't comment to you, don't think I'm being rude. Just think I can't read, which is about true. But I'm sitting here, these birds, you hear these birds? These birds are crazy. I feel like I'm in the Amazon rainforest. They're amazing, but they're all around the hotel. By the way, we're at the Courtyard Marriott, right here by the convention center, right across the street. And it is fantastic. Great spot to sit and smoke. The rooms are good size. The beds are comfortable. The pillows are big. And the sheets look clean. So my backpack was slap full. I was sliding cigars in by the end of the day. There was so much stuff that I was getting. Now, as a retailer, you go and you talk to people, and sometimes they'll give you samples and this and that. That's pretty common. But when you're in media, if I'm sitting down and I'm talking to you, you're going to want me to smoke one of your cigars, right? So you're going to give me one of the cigars. You're going to give Chief one of the cigars. You're going to be like, well, maybe you reviewed my cigar, so I'll give you some more. So we end up getting a little more than most people do, but it's stinking awesome. PCA today was amazing. All the booths were gorgeous. This year compared to last year, it was a little bit smaller. The booths were a little bit smaller, a little bit tighter, but there was still a lot of room for people to go around. Mariachi band was going off. Another group was playing a little blues band going off. Drew Estate had DJ Eli playing the hot song. It was great. And there was some other stuff going on that I didn't have time for. You can't see, if you were a retailer and you're going in here, you can't see every shop. You have to have a list of what manufacturers you want to go see because there's just so many places. It's crazy. It's crazy. I don't have it up on my phone right now because I'm talking to you. I closed my ring by lunch, and I probably walked 17,654 million steps. It was crazy how much walking we did. The place was great. Had water stations. You could buy waters everywhere. There was food stations, and there were multiple bathrooms. It was much better than last year, where it seems like the bathrooms were all in one place, and that was all the way on the other side of the water and food. So you were walking back and forth, which made my life a little bit easier. Now, Chief did all the schedules, most of the schedules. Yeah. And he did it on his computer, right? And it's on his phone. Well, I'm still analog, right? I got a book. So this is my little cheat sheet book of where we were going and our schedule, which I can use now because I've got a bunch of cigars here I want to show you, and I can kind of show them when I'm talking about the places that I go to, and I like to tell you about the places. And yes, I did steal some things. And tomorrow, I'm going to steal some more. I got some plans to grab some things. I got my eye on something from this first guy that we went and talked with. I talked with Drew Newman from JC Newman. Fan dang tastic interview. Chief's going to chop it up and make it even better. But Drew Newman is an amazing, amazing man, and we talked about him and his family, fourth generation cigar rollers, cigar shops, cigar store, cigar manufacturing. I think he said it was the last one in America that does it like that. He's very proud of his family and his heritage, his legacy, and he really wants to make sure that he carries on that legacy well. He talked about all the things they do in the area where they're helping to have tours at the El Reloj it's the clock cigar factory in Tampa. They also have a new park they built. They've renovated the whole area, make it nice. And they're building a hotel, convention center, restaurant, cigar bar, right? Fantastic. I'm looking forward to getting a part of that. They also help a lot with fighting the FDA through litigation. Drew has a background in legal. I don't know if he's a lawyer or if he was an attorney, or I don't know what the difference is. I think it's the price. If you're a lawyer, it's only $100 an hour. If you're an attorney, it's $350, I think. It's bronze back, right? So I hope the wind didn't blow my stuff around. So we sat down, and also they're doing a cigar where all their proceeds are going to pay for art schools and music schools in the local community, right? They enhance what they have at the local schools so that they can have a better experience, a well-rounded education. I think that's great and awesome. We talked about, and I got to smoke the JC Newman American, one of my favorite cigars from JC Newman. I actually told him my catchphrase. You ready for this? Here it goes. You buy the first one for the flag, but the next one for the flavor. Man, I like it. Steven thinks it's stupid, but I love it, love it, love it. I think it makes a lot of good sense. So, there it is. So we went there. I got my eyes on some stuff there. I couldn't get it today. They were watching me too tight. So I'll try to see if I can get some stuff tomorrow. Then we went straight from there to Casta 1910, Manolo. We went and saw Manolo, who is an amazing individual. He's fantastic and phenomenal. He represents the Mexican heritage of tobacco. Last year's cigars that he released, they were all on the Mexican Revolution. This year it's extended even more, but he deals with a lot of Mexican tobacco, a lot of puros, right? All the tobacco comes from Mexico, and I smoked one of them today, and the flavors were just on point and amazing. Great stories, short video. He's a man of few words, and he speaks a very thick accented English, and so I didn't ask a whole bunch of things because I couldn't understand everything. That's the truth, but I tried really hard. Good handshake too. I'm talking too much. Hang on. I'm Bob the cigar guy. I gotta have a cigar, right? Yeah, I do. Even if I'm just Bob, I gotta have a cigar because Bob likes cigars. Loves the first lady, but he sure does like cigars. So, come on. All right. So next, we did a pop-up with BAMF cigars. Neat fellas. They give to veterans organizations. One of their cigars, actually, the proceeds go to helping veterans get service dogs, which that's one of their passions, is helping the military. I think it said, we make the most bad butt cigars for the most bad butt guys or bad butt people. Which is fantastic. So as I was sitting there, and this dude that I was talking to was swole, so I had to be sneaky when I got this cigar, or this little Gibby, because I didn't want him chasing me down because I would have lost and he would have been tired. But their cigars, let's see what we got. We got some Area 51. It's the one he handed me to smoke. And the thing about this cigar is he said it's two cigars in one. He said in the beginning it's got this little candela foot. He said the first third it's going to be kind of smooth, kind of mellow. No, it's going to be a punchy in your face, and then it's going to mellow out, and then it's going to go back to that almost punchy. It's a blending of the two. Don't know how he does it, but it's pretty stinking neat, and the branding on it is pretty cool. Area 51. He said I'm not going to tell you what's in it, just like Area 51 doesn't tell you what's in it, but also, which this is a cool band for your humidor or for your Facebook pictures. I haven't smoked it yet, so I can't tell you if it tastes good, but I can tell you it looks good. And this is the PSITA. PTSITA. Put the smoke in the air. I like that, right? So that's pretty cool. That's pretty catchy. That's pretty interesting. What else have we got? Man, I got some stuff. This is the thing I snagged, and this is going to go on my bag. It's a Velcro patch with their logo. Is that not a bad butt logo? Is that not cooler than all get out? This is going to fit on my backpack, and I probably will put it on there today. Hopefully you won't see it and say, hey, where'd you get that from? Because I'll say, I don't know. I found it on the floor, right? La Flor Dominica. No. So we went and saw them for a while. That was one of our pop-ups. We try to catch pop-ups when we can, especially with the smaller boutiques, and really giving them a little bit of shine so that they can get their stuff out. So 12 o'clock, lunchtime, we had a flip-flop. We were supposed to do Drew Estate, which I'm going to tell you, I am petrified with the interview for Drew Estates. I know you're saying, Bob, why are you petrified? I'm going to tell you why I'm petrified. There was an interview, they had stage set up, and Isola Woods was sitting there, lovely lady, and Jonathan Drew was roaming around, and so I was talking to him today. We were over there at the booth. I actually stole a pack of Drew Estate cigars. I did. I just said, right? But I'm going to try and get some more tomorrow, some more stuff. All right, but I got a hold of that, and we were talking, and I said, so who am I going to be interviewing? And they said, well, you're going to be with Izzy and Jonathan. And I said, because I know most of the Drew Estate reps and the Drew Estate people and the personalities. I'm like, Jonathan who? And they said, Jonathan Drew. And I said, who? And my finger tightened up just a little bit because Jonathan Drew ain't no joke, right? I've never interviewed him. He usually doesn't do interviews. I never have asked. So I'm kind of shocked about that. By the way, Matty Rock done pinned me with 2 years in a row this Matty Rock sticker. I wear it proudly. It's a badge of honor. But then a little while later, we come back through and we're talking to Christine, who does all the Barn Smoker stuff. And oh my gosh, the stuff she told. I can't tell you. But the stuff she told. This Barn Smoker's going to be crazy. This year's going to be crazy. Anyway, I said, yeah, I heard I'm going to be interviewing with Jonathan Drew and Isola. I said, that's going to be really awesome. She goes, no, you're not. So my heart sank a little bit, but my sphincter loosened up. And I'm like, oh. She goes, they're going to interview you. I said, who? She said, Isola and Jonathan Drew are going to interview you. I said, what? He goes, we're Drew Estate. We flipped the script. And I said, are you kidding? She goes, no, you'll get to ask some questions. But no, this is us interviewing you. Boy, I tell you what, that thing tightened up like nobody's business. I was like, oh, Lord. And it's actually, I've been thinking about it all day, fomenting and worrying about it. When I get there, I'm going to be all right. But right now, not so much. So, Drew Estate, we were supposed to do that today. There was a scheduling issue. We had to flip it. And so our next people, and I stole something from them too, was Le Fin Lam, right? I learned that French last year. It's LESFINSLAMES. And I called it Les Fins Lam. And he goes, no, you American. The S is just there. You just don't say it. And so this time, funny video, neat guy, sit there and I called it Le Fin Lam. He had the cutters. You seen Chief with his dog tag cutter. They've got some new dog tag cutters, which are now the size of dog tags. They've got all sorts of different designs on them, which is really cool. I found out because they have the knives too, and those things are machine quality, right? They are fantastic. They are heirloom stuff. And so they started talking about the guy who started the company came from the background of being a watchmaker and being a in the high level jewelry district, and it made so much sense because it has that high level couture, couture. It's the couture, the fancy jewelry on the runways and stuff. It's got that jewelry quality to it, but the machine is like a clock, a Swiss timepiece. Fantastic. And what did I steal? I didn't steal one of them cutters because they were under glass. I couldn't get to it. But I did get me one of these cool little left in lam, yes, left in lam little keychains, right? You can't just get these keychains. I had to steal it. I did. I'd feel bad, but I don't. It's in Vegas. Don't tell. So, by that time, I had smoked 8 cigars. This is 1 o'clock. Yeah. I smoked like 8 cigars. And I needed something to drink. So we walked all the way over and got us a couple bottles of water, choked it down real quick. And then, of course, as I'm walking back to go do my next interview, I got to go pee-pee. So we had to go walk back all the other way so that I could go find a bathroom and use the bathroom, right? It's a funny feeling when you walk into a bathroom, for me, smoking a cigar. It just feels like I'm in trouble. But then I'm like giggling like a kid because I'm getting away with smoking a cigar in the bathroom. Right? But I wasn't the only one, so it's not like I was special or anything. Anyway, so 1 o'clock. I got to see Mike out Paustani. Fantastic guy. Fantastic story. The new cigar that he's brought out is in homage to his middle son's name, and it's a banger. The War Bear. You're probably familiar with the War Bear. Fantastic blends. All his stuff, excuse me, comes from Romacraft, and so Romacraft really blends their stuff. And he was talking to me about the blending process and the fact that he goes to Romacraft, he gets to use from their selections of tobacco, and so he knows the tobaccos have been aged well and they've been fermented correctly, so that gives him a better product, which I'm like, bang, right? So we had a good time sitting there chitting and chatting. Oh, so good. So good. Oh my gosh. This bronze back umbagog, when you get a hold to it, it's going to get a hold to you. I'm telling you what. I'm supposed to be looking up at the little camera, but I keep looking down here to make sure I'm in the shot. So if I'm not looking at the camera, please forgive me. It's chilly out here. It's actually chilly. Them birds they'll shut up as soon as it gets dark. Them birds are like, whoop, nope, I ain't talking no more. So it'll get quiet in just a little bit. I may have to turn another light on. All right, so we got those knocked out. Let's see what else we got coming next. I'm gonna be honest. Transparent. When we started booking our schedules, when you set your schedule times, everybody else is setting schedule times. And so sometimes the schedule that you need to fill up to go see somebody, you've already filled up your time and they don't have a time to fit and you just miss. And Chief and I have a couple companies that we go to first and get on their list, and then we fill all the gaps around with everybody else. We want to make sure that we hit these people. Number one, great people, great stories, great cigars, and great friends. So we want to make sure that we get to spend time with them and we get to promote their products, and hopefully their cigars taste great, which they do. Because if they didn't taste great, I don't care if I'm your friend or not, I got to tell the truth, and I'd say it's a boogaboo, and I don't want to do that. The guy I got to sit down with, now his couches are the most comfortable couches there. Amazing couches. Comfortable. This is the only interview. When you watch these videos back, and please watch the videos back, when you watch the videos Chief puts out in about 2 weeks to a month, and they'll start rolling out, you'll see that in all the videos that I'm sitting forward in my chair because I want to be engaging, and I'm a big boy, so I don't want to lay back and look like a big boy. So this one, couches was comfortable. I felt like I was with family. I was in my element. I laid back in that couch. I am strung back in that couch, arms up half the time, having a great time. Where was I? I got this Umbagog bronze back from there. That's right. I was with Steve, Saka, and DTT. We had an hour. Well, we slayed an hour so that we can get to the next show, or the next venue, and we talked for 20 minutes, 10 minutes to a half an hour, and Steven edits it down. I sat there and chatted with Steve for a full hour. We almost missed our deadline for our next appointment because I was just having such a good time. And we talked about family, we talked about life. He let me know some stuff, about DTT, just about the everyday working thing, and it was just like sitting down with a good friend over a cigar. And I truly, Steve's a great guy. I do. I think so. But started talking about the cigars. We had to get into cigars, right? And I talked to him. I poked him a little bit, like poking a bear with a stick. I poked him a little bit, and I said, "Yeah, I see you finally have given in to your love and made a Lancero sampler." And he laughed, and that's a rarity. Steve Saka usually doesn't laugh on videos. That's just not his thing. But he laughed because we were comfortable. By the way, his watch band matched his shoes. He was very proud to say that and show you, "Look at me, my watch band matches my shoes." And they did. I was impressed. They were a maroon color, Nike shoes, and the watch, I don't know what the watch was, but it was a fancy watch, I guess, but simple but fancy. But it had a nice little maroon band, and it did match. I don't know if he picked it out or Cindy picked it out for him. I think possibly the latter. But Steve starts talking about the wrapper on this. It's a hard to get wrapper. It doesn't come out every year kind of thing. It's in the middle priming. It's a little bit more rugged, a little bit more aggressive, a little less sweet on the broadleaf, and it's something that's not used very often. And so he decided that he liked that cigar. He remembered having a cigar like this years ago, many, many years ago, and they don't make it anymore. And he says, "You know what? I like this. I'm going to make this." And he did. And I'm glad. And so did I steal anything from Steve Saka? No, no, no. Boy, he would have caught me. That would have been trouble. Of course, I would have got a head start. I would have been standing up already, and he would have had to get out of that comfortable chair. And then we started talking about the Lanceros. And I asked him, I said, "So these Lanceros, because I haven't got there's not a lot of research you can do on them yet. And there's that Candela, and then there's all the other ones. There's like 9, right?" And so I asked him, I said, "Did you do a Lancero of Mi Querida, of a Sin Compromiso, of a, Todos los Dias?" And he goes, "Well, Sober Mesa." He goes, "The Sober Mesa's got seven fillers." He goes, "How am I going to put 7 fillers in a Lancero, Bob?" And I said, "Yep, you're right." He said, "So what it was is when he made the Now Leave Me the Heck Alone Lancero in his Moisture de Saka line, he made like 60 different blends. Good blends. Competitor blends. He made a whole lot more blends, but these were his competitor blends, the ones that this may be the one, this may be the one." And so he went back and he looked at those cigars that were really, really good that just didn't fit what he wanted for that, and he brought those back. So he had already done his research on it. He had already done the whole blending on it. He just had to go back at his notes and say, "Let's do these and let's check them. Let's see what they do," because based upon different years of crops and the weather and soil and production and all these other things, he had to make sure that it did need to be tweaked or something like that. He said a Lancero usually has only 2 fillers, maybe a sliver of a third, but there's not much you can get in there. And he says, "I've never had a Lancero that I didn't think that I could have made better as a Toro or a Gordo or a Churchill or even a Lonsdale." He said, "Just that acreage, that space, that square footage of being able to put more tobacco in there, you can enhance and make the blend more," right? And I'm just sitting back listening. We had a good conversation. Chris Duque is there, and his wife, Trish. They're there, and Chris is Hawaiian, and Trish is Hawaiian. Well, Chris is Filipino. Trish is Hawaiian, and one of the Hawaiian things is he always gives gifts, and so he gave a box of chocolates, and he told me this is for the first lady, and gave Stephen a box of chocolates and said this is for Miss Shanna. He calls her Shani. It's kind of funny. "This is Miss Shani." And he gave it for Shanna, and he goes, "These are for them," and so we don't get to eat them. We just get to transport them. We are chocolate mules from Hawaii. They're amazing, too. They are, I didn't eat them yet. They might get lost in shipping. They didn't fit in my bag. I don't know. But they gave the girls that, but he also handed me a bag of Hawaiian coffee. Amazing coffee. Fantastic coffee. This is just a gift to us. Chris gives it to some of his close friends, and it's just his way of saying aloha. Amazing. We call him Uncle. He's amazing. He's fantastic, right? And he works hard. They were stuffing bags. Drew, the Dunbar and Tobacco and Trust booth was so busy. We did the interview, and it frustrates Steve when you've got a media person there and he's doing the interview, because he doesn't write paper. He does interviews and meets with people. People just come up right in the middle of you and shake your hand and talk to you. And I just kind of stop. And Steve stops, and then we get back at it. But you can tell he just gets a little frustrated with it. It's just a little respectful kind of nicety. Somebody taking videos, you just knock it off. But he's cool about it. But crazy busy. Miss Yvonne, Miss Cindy, and Miss Anna are doing a great job writing lots of paper and meeting lots of people. David Lafferty's running around. I got to see his watch. He's got an amazing watch that's handcrafted, and the bezel behind the numbers and the dial, or I guess it's the dial. It is made out of a piece of tobacco that has been stabilized so it will last forever, and it took many iterations to do it. It's a one of one, and it's amazing. I got to see it, and he pulled it off his wrist. I said, "You don't have to do that." He goes, "No, I'm gonna let you hold it." I said, "No, you're not." I said, "You just hold it right there and I'll look at it." And it was amazing. The pictures did not do it justice. I was so impressed with it. By the way, Miss Cindy, Miss Yvonne, Miss Chris, Miss Trish, or Mr. Chris, Miss Trish, David, Steve, great hugs, awesome huggers, good handshakes, right? Just fantastic people. Smiles all around. Everybody just hanging around like it was a concert. I mean, they really didn't even want to leave. It was really, really neat. So Steve was talking about changing the name on the Sober Mesa. I was so glad that he didn't get rid of my Sober Mesa Elegante and Cedro, which is one of my favorite cigars. The first blend Steve Saka did, which was the Sober Mesa, that thing's still a banger. It's still hitting. It's still, man, it's still my jam. He changed it to Sober Mesa Solita. Solita is a made-up Spanish word. You put ita, evidently, he taught me this, on any Spanish word, it means little or small. Sol is sun. And so he talks about the crop is it gets a little sun because the tobacco's up in the shade or something like that with cloud cover. He talked over my head. I was trying to listen. I'm going to watch the video again just to know what he said. But he changed it to that, and he also said it's kind of chunky with the names when he brought out the Brulee Blue, and now the Wagashi. What do you say? It's the Sober Mesa old one? Now, that's not a very good way to sell cigars, right? So being Steve Saka, the social media darling that he is, he says this is what we need to do. So he just put it all under one umbrella. So it'll be something just flew away. I'll get it. Sober Mesa Solita. Sober Mesa Solita Brulee, Solita Brulu, Wagashi, right? It's going to make it a family name. And so that was an amazing, amazing time that we got to spend with Steve Saka and just hanging out with the family. It was amazing. As we're walking around, I get to see some people that I haven't seen in a while. I got to see Abe DeBabna, amazing feller. I got to see Ronnie Haisha, Secreto Cigar. Amazing fella. If you don't know Abe, he's Smoke In. Fantastic guy. I got to see a bunch of media people that I haven't got to see in a while. Cigar Show Tim, Daniel Ravanelli, Cigar Federation, Cigar Coop. I have not seen Cigar Dojo yet. I'm looking for Cigar Dojo, and I haven't seen Tim Swanson yet because I'm looking for him. I'm wanting to hang out with them. And I got to hang out with the Deadly Breakfast Club as well. We had a real good time doing that. By the way, for breakfast, we went to what I call the Iron Man shop. Let me explain. It's a bagel shop called Bagelville. And the only reason I say this is because their sign is a huge bagel. And you remember in Iron Man when he sat in the bagel and Nick Fury said, "Hey, come down here, goober." Right? That's what I thought about. Now it's not donuts, it's bagels. There were donuts there. They look good. But I had on my nice, pretty new shirt, which people like my shirt. Nice, pretty new shirt. And I didn't want to get donut goober on me. That would have been bad because I would have to go back and change, and I didn't want to do that. So we had that breakfast. It was real good. Stephen had chicken and waffles. Mac Berkson hung out with us. I had some little bagel sandwich with eggs and sausage. I know you're excited about this. Are you writing notes? Are you keeping these notes? Because this is important. There'll be a test later. No. I did not do the Tesla tunnel. It was closed. I want to do the Tesla tunnel, just do the Tesla tunnel. I saw the Sphere again, and my heart aches to go to the Sphere, but we won't be doing it this time, that's for sure, because tickets are exorbitant, and I don't have time, right? By the way, that's all I eat. I am running off caffeine from Diet Pepsis and just adrenaline, and there's a little bit of nicotine running around from all the cigars that I smoked. Man, the struggle is real. It's not. So then we went and we saw our friends at Villiger. By the way, this show was sponsored by Villiger. If you don't have a cigar to smoke right now, grab you a Villiger. And if you have a cigar to smoke, I hope it's a Villiger because it's an amazing cigar, right? And that's the truth. Villiger has, and it's a sleeper, right? Villiger's not something you can get anywhere, everywhere, right? It's you gotta hunt it a little bit, but it's worth the hunt. The flavors, you can get all sorts of, there's different pretty bands. We talked about the 1888, which is when the Villiger started that long ago. They done figured out how to do tobacco. It's real big over in Europe. And so they did, we talked about the Miami. We talked about the 1888, and then he went a rundown on all of his other cigars, which some of them look like almost a Ferrari emblem with the bull. Is that Lamborghini? Lamborghini. Yeah, I got a truck. I don't know nothing about them fancy cars. They don't fit anyway. I couldn't fit in that car. It'd be a convertible, maybe. But I digress. But we sat down, we talked, and he was talking about some of the history. He was talking about the heritage and the blending. And then we started talking about construction, and construction is extremely important to them. They want to make sure that you have a great smoking experience every time, partially because you only have so much time and they don't want you to waste it on a bad cigar or a cigar that doesn't perform as well as you would want. But also, they're of the mindset, and this is a good mindset, that there's so many cigars out there that you could choose. And if you get a bad cigar, you may not get another one. You may say, you know what, this Villiger, it's just not my thing. I'm going to go with something else. And they missed a lifelong consumer, right? A lifelong friend. And so they don't want to do that. So they take it very seriously. But the thing they take more seriously is their flavors. They want to make sure that the flavors are well presented, that they're balanced, that they are full, not as well as, okay, full. You get a hamburger from McDonald's. It's a hamburger. I eat them. Look at me. But then you get a hamburger from a steak restaurant, a highfalutin Vegas steak restaurant. That hamburger is going to taste different. A lot of it's based on the materials, but also based upon how they put the thing together in the presentation and the attention to detail. McDonald's is chumming them out. This place, you're the only person they're worried about right then. So Villiger has that mindset of that great steakhouse where you get a hamburger and it is something that you savor, that you enjoy, that you just don't work through for sustenance and nourishment. And let's face it, sometimes we don't take the time we need to take care of ourselves. And so when we do take those times, if Villiger's a part of it and they want to be a part of it, then they want you to feel like you made the right choice by choosing them. I got to tell you, I'm not so deep in the Villiger line, but I'm learning more and more about them, and I'm more excited to try all the different blends. And they have a lot of different blends. The flavor profiles are all across the spectrum, so if you want something darker, something heavier, something lighter, different Vitolas, they got it for you. But there's a ton of other great cigars too, but Villiger was on point, and that guy was great. I did steal something. Well, he gave me one. And I didn't steal it. So some of y'all know, being on Chief Talk, that we just did that bracketed thing. And so we told him about the bracketed thing, and he was excited about it. He goes, and so Steven, I started trying to tell him. Steven says, Dad, I'll tell it better. He called me Dad. He didn't even call me Bob, right? He said, Dad, I'll tell it better. And so he told the whole story, and he talked about the giveaways. And each manufacturer is going to have one cigar in there, and that'll be the pack. And he goes, well, I got packs. Let me give you some more of ours. Smart man, right? Let me give you some more of ours. And so he gave me not one for me, one for Chief, but then he gave me 5 more packs of the Villiger sampler. So, you know, you say you can't go to PCA and you can't get stuff. This is straight off the PCA floor. You're going to get it. It's not for general consumption. This is for retailers and for special people like media. So you're sitting there going, oh, that's great. You're talking to me like that guy that goes to the yard sale and wants to buy something. Says, oh, I just sold that. I don't want to know what you just sold that. So the giveaway is pretty much done, right? No, it's not. Because when we come back from PCA on Chief Talk, we're going to do another. We're gonna put them together. It's a battle of the floor for J.C. Newman, Drew Estate, Dunbarton Tobacco and Trust, and Villiger, and we're gonna have a bracket. And all you have to do is vote. Your horse doesn't have to win. All you have to do is vote, and you're entered into a roly, whatever those randomizer things are. And in that randomizer, if your name is called, you'll get to get this, including a cigar from Dunbarton Tobacco and Trust, another cigar from Villiger, a cigar from J.C. Newman, and a cigar from Drew Estate. So that's pretty dang cool. Value added, right? I'm thinking about y'all. I'm trying to get stuff for y'all every chance I get, right? So Villiger's done. Oh, all right. This was cool. Neat fellas, neat mission, neat story. Good cigar. This cigar was actually number 21 on my list for 2023. And I'd only smoked a couple of them, but it really just stood out to me. But the story is amazing. Their mission is amazing. And thank goodness their cigars are good. Because if you have a great story and you have a great mission and your cigars are poopy, who's going to smoke the poopy? I'm not, right? But they're good stuff. This is Founders Cigars. Small boutique, but these fellas are amazing. It's veteran owned, it's veteran focused, right? There's a lot of cigar manufacturers that are focusing on veterans, which I think is a great thing. I think I think our veterans need to get a thank you every once in a while, and doing something nice for them, I think it's good. But in his story, he was talking about, he noticed years ago that veterans are alone. The depression rate, the suicide rate is extremely high, and it's just not right. And they wanted to try to figure a way, in his words, to trick people into fellowship. Let me give you an excuse to hang out so that you can do self-care with a group. You can have somebody to talk to, somebody to carry your burden, somebody there just to listen, or somebody there that just does the talking so you can just chill out and feel like you're not alone. And he said what really jumped them up, it was 3 years in the business, what really jumped them up is the COVID. And he saw that the whole world, United States, everybody was alone. Depression was through the roof. Isolation was through the roof. And he said, people aren't meant to be by themselves all the time. I agree. We're created for connections, I believe, and I think it's an important part of who we are. I don't think that we can live a happy life if all we are is by ourselves. I don't. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think so. And so their mission is to bring veterans, men, women, non-veterans, everybody else together for an excuse to hang out. And so they make a point to make the best cigars they can at a price point that you can afford so that you can have those moments. Price point that you can afford is so that you can have more moments. I think that's pretty good. I am so glad their cigars don't suck. I am. Because if they did, I'd support your mission. I might send you some money, but I'm not going to smoke your cigars because I've only got so much time, right? And I want to enjoy my time that I have carved out for myself. I don't know if you feel that way, but that's the way I feel. But it was awesome and phenomenal sitting there and talking with them fellers and Gene and Holland a little bit. But then, I saw the coolest. Hang on. Hang on. Oh no. Oh no. That wind is real. Hang on. I saw the coolest. By the way, I'm bad about that. When I was at Dumbarton, I got a Dumbarton sampler, right? Now I snagged this one right here, but I got a Dumbarton sampler. Just some man, I'm looking forward to that right there. I'm looking forward to all of it, to be honest. So I got a sampler from them. When I was at Founders, I got a sampler from them, which is some of their cigars. It looks like we're going to do some work together. We're going to try to promote them as much as possible. They're going to hook us up with some cigars that I can do reviews with, and maybe he said if you want to do giveaways, we may be able to do stuff like that. Now, he also asked if we do paying content, right? They got to pay for the reviews and this and that, and I said, well, yes, we do. But you're a small company, and we Gian Hall. You're like-minded with me, and so I don't want you to spend your money when you're here. If you become huge, then we'll negotiate. But right now, let's just do something together. Let's get the word out, right? And so he was very appreciative of that. And oh, by the way, there's my pal Stanny, right? I'm not doing my job well. I'm cold. So what else have I got? Let me make sure I don't miss anything. I did steal some from Dura State. Well, I didn't. It was given to me. This is the European release of the Baca, right? I got one of them. Now, if it was chewing tobacco, it could be Chewbacca. Brrr. Right. Oh, sorry. Sorry. So we got that. What else we got? This was from Casta. My brain. Casta 1910. From my man Manolo. Great time with him. Now, what was I talking about? We did. Who was last? We did Founders. We're talking about that. All right, I got that covered. Stuff went flying everywhere. Oh, whoa. The most gorgeous band I've ever seen. And you know, if you follow me at all, which you don't have to walk fast if you follow me, because I'm not walking fast. If you follow me at all, you'll know that the First Lady loves horses. And I love the First Lady. But I can't stand horses. Oh my gosh. I can't stand horses at all. I don't like them. I don't like them. But she loves them, right? For her birthday, I bought her some horse art from some artist. It was cool. But look at that van. They had a they had a big wall on the back of their booth, which was that logo. I stopped and took pictures. I was sending it to the First Lady. Then I went around, I saw their boxes, and I started taking pictures of the boxes. And I'm not wearing my badge that says media. And Chief's off doing Chief, all sorts of things, handling stuff. And Chief's off doing Chief, and so there's no guy with a tripod. And I'm just walking up, and so the lady comes up to me, and she starts talking to me about their products, like I'm a retailer. And I couldn't find a spot to say, hang on just a second. I didn't want to, things are blown away. I didn't want to embarrass her or make her feel bad. And so I just let her tell her spiel, and I told her I was in media. Then she goes, well, I'd really like you to look at this. And I was hoping she was going to give me a cigar, because I was going to show it to Sarah in that band. And maybe have Sarah in there when I review the cigar. It'd be kind of cool, right? She doesn't like the smell of cigars, but she likes horses, which smell worse than cigars, if you ask me. But it'd be kind of a her time, a smoking date with all y'all here. No, but it could be interesting. So, all right, Last, well, let me back up. I got to talk to other booths. I didn't get to talk to a lot of other booths. We have some openings tomorrow, I think, and I'll get to do some more chitting and chatting. I got the lay of the land, and so I wanna go talk to some booth people. I want to go talk to Bovita because I've got that big Wanador I bought for $20. That's now one of my humidors. My plan is to put Bovita packs. I bought 10 big Bovita packs, 60 mils or whatever they are, the 68 humidity. I'm gonna put 5 of them in there. I've got 10 of them, and so when those get crispy and crunchy, I'll pull those out, put the new ones in. I'll rehydrate the other ones, and I'll just do that, and I'll have a humidor for $75 that holds 20 boxes of cigars. Not bad, and I want to do a video of it. But before I do that, Bovita's there. Why not talk to Bovita and say, hey, this is what I'm thinking. Is this a good video? Is this good information? Am I doing Bovita right by doing this? Because I'm not really worried about doing Bovita right. I'm not one doing wrong, but I want to make sure that I give the information to you right, because I don't want you going on Facebook Marketplace buying this, getting the Bovita packs, and it just doesn't do. So I'm going to ask them if I get a chance. They were extremely busy, extremely busy. Another person I went to go see is my man at El Pulpo. I want to go up there and give him a hug, and I told him, I said, buddy, and they are energy. They are on fire. You think I'm hype? They are hype and a half. When you get both of them together, it's like putting 2 cats in a bag and shaking them. Not that I would suggest that. Don't call PETA on me. But you understand what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying. So doing that, I went up and talked to him, and I said, I just want to let you know that your cigar, El Pulpo, I want to say, we were the ones that promoted this 100%, and because you're having very good ratings, it's all because of us, but that's a lie, and it wouldn't sound good anyway, so I'm not going to do it. But I did tell him that he was number 3 on our list, and he was so genuinely pleased. He gave me a big old hug, and he thanked me. And he said, we have gotten such great raves of this AJ Fernandez cigar. It is doing phenomenal and amazing. And we really, really, really like what's going on with it. But I want to show you what we got now. And so the Viva La Vida, they've been around 5 years with that blend. And so they have a 5-year blend, the anniversary. And so he asked me, he said, smoke this tonight, because I was looking for an El Pupo. He said, smoke this tonight, because I smoke El Pupos every chance I could. He said, smoke this tonight. I'm telling you, El Pupo is amazing. He said, smoke this tonight. Now, I actually went on Amazon and bought from China these little pen holders that look like octopuses, because I want to sit my cigar on there and take a picture. That's how much I love this. But he said, smoke this tonight, and let me know what you think tomorrow. So I got homework. All right. Struggle's real. So I'm going to smoke this tonight, and then I'm going to go over there, and I'm going to hopefully lean into the El Pulpo box. I am. And if we have time, hopefully we'll cut a video with them. There's some other people that would like us to come over and do a video with them. And so if we have time, we're going to do added content. So the last guy of the night, and I spent an hour and 15 minutes. They actually, at the end of it, they said, PCA is closing. Please exit the floor. And the mass exit as the people were gone. We're just sitting there. I'm sitting there with one of the owners, and I'm sitting there with my friend Fabian Ziegler from Aganorsa, right? Me and Fabian we have such a good time. This video is going to be hilarious because he pulled out a couple things that I had forgotten about. When I used to do videos, if you ain't been around a long time with me, and I don't blame you, I would start my videos with a very loud bam or something, yeah, and whatever, and I would almost scare whoever was my guest. And Fabian remembered that. And so we sat down, and he goes, bam, and he scared me because I wasn't ready for it. I got the giggles. I actually said, stop. And I started laughing. You want to talk about 2 friends that ain't been around for a while, that get together and just have a good time? That's what the video's about. And you're going to get to know about Aganorsa, and you're going to learn about a tasting process that Aganorsa has that you can have if they ever come to a shop near you. And I'll tell you about that in a minute. But he got me even worse the second time. He looks at me, and he says, so, something about tobacco. Do you know which tobacco is da-da-da-da-da-da? And I knew the answer. And I started to answer, and he goes, it doesn't matter, like The Rock. And I about cried. Jumped, but I about cried. It was hilarious. And so he pulled a couple other Rock themed moments out, which were just hilarious. And he picked at Steven a little bit because him and Steven are real good friends. And we talked a little bit about past and history and his history. But then what he did is he goes, you know what? You've been smoking a lot of cigars today. And I said, yes, I have. He goes, how many? I said, I probably had 30 in the past 2 days. And probably more. He goes, okay. He said, we're not going to smoke a cigar. And before I could say it, he said, I know. We're at a cigar event. Cigars are everywhere. Cigar manufacturers. You're a cigar reviewer. You're Bob the cigar guy. And we're not going to smoke cigars. I said, okay. You put all 3 Ziploc bags with these little, the only way to explain them is they look like backwoods. Those cheroots, really rough and tumbled, and they got a little written band on them. And they were Criollo 98, Criollo 99, I think it was, and a 2012 or something like that, tobacco variety. And he says, we're going to be a master blender. And I'm going to tell you, or you're going to tell me by smoking this, which one of these cigars you're going to get to smoke, which then I'm like, okay, cool. And so there was a Connecticut shade, and I'm like, yeah, I ain't going to get that. And then there was another one, Aganorsa Rare Leaf, and I'm like, all right, that maybe. And then there was a Cerebus, the 3-headed dog in front of hell. And I'm like, man, that's going to be my jam. That's going to be heavy. That's going to be full, and it looks cool. I'm going to smoke that, I thought. So he pulls out this tobacco, and he hands it to me. I'm not going to tell you everything because I want you to watch the video because it's really an educational video, but it's fun. And he had me smell it. He had me pre-draw it before you light it. Then he had me light it, and he asked me about the flavor experience. He didn't ask me about the flavor. He asked me about the experience that was going on in my mouth. And he taught me new words, which is really cool because I'm going to use them. I told him I'm going to use them. And then he gave me the second one. I put that one down. He gave me the second one. He had me do that. And we talked about the experience. And the experience was completely different in my mouth. All right. And then he said, take both of those, make sure they're both lit, and smoke them together and experience that experience. He goes, that's how you can taste a balanced cigar. I'm like, all right. But now there's this third one laying around. This third one's a little heavy, darker than the rest. And so he said, try this one. And it was heavier. But he wasn't worried about the flavors as much as he was worried about the experience of what was going on in my mouth. And I was surprised and amazed at that perspective. And then he had me try them together and switch them up. And he goes, now, which one do you like? One by themselves? Do you like these two or those two? Or do you like all three? Which one really struck out to you? And I said, well, it was this one and this one together. He goes, okay, you want to know what cigar you like? Sure. He handed me the dang Connecticut shade. I said, God bum, I don't smoke Connecticut shades. And he goes, yeah. And so I cut it up, lit it up, and smoked it. And the Connecticut shades is a Connecticut shade plus. It has some strength to it. It has some substance to it. It's very full. It's almost like a sleeper cigar. It would go well with a regular darker wrapper, Rosado, broadleaf, Mexican San Andreas. It feels like it would fit that blend. But what happens with that Connecticut shade is that it just kind of runs in between the heavier flavors. So it is not a rookie cigar. It has some strength to it. And he was talking about Aganorsa Leaf, which is the number 2 tobacco purveyor fields in the world, number 1 in Nicaragua. I don't remember who number 1 was. I want to say it was, no, I don't want to say because I don't remember. So it was an interesting experience. I really got to enjoy that, and we chopped it up a lot, made some jokes. Some stuff will get in the blooper reel. I bet there's going to be a blooper reel in this one, and Chief's going to do a great job with this, and he's going to edit forever because that video is long. He's going to have to chop it down, and we had a real good time. And so he gave me This JFR lunatic. Thank God he didn't want me to smoke it on camera. But I told him, if it makes it home without being cracked, I'll do a review. Why not? Time lapse, because look at that. It doesn't even fit in the camera. Look at that thing. And I got a big watermelon head. That's a lot. That's a lot right there, right? So, also Villiger gave us a couple limited releases that is very, very rare, and he put it in our hands, and so I'm going to get to enjoy that as well. But I did steal some stuff from Aganorsa, and it was fun. Now, the first thing, I was amazed. I've never seen this company before, Visol, Visol, and they've got this lighter, this big tabletop. It's got the little rest. I mean, this has got everything you can need. It's got a little rest on top of it, and they were Visol gave them to some of the retail, or some of the shops, some of the booths. It's got advertising, right? It's not stupid. And so he gave it to some of the booths so they could use it. Big old triple jet. Look at that thing, quad, right? Big old quad, but it comes to a pencil point, so you can light. I lit my cheroots with it, but it's got, set my cigar down, hope it don't blow away. It's got a guillotine cutter here, but that's not all. It's got a stinking dual punch. It's heavy. It's got this black matte finish, which means it's not going to scratch real easy. It's going to be a great tabletop lighter, and it's heavy. So I snagged it. I'll take it back with me tomorrow. I might give it back to them because they probably need it, and then I might snag it again at the end of the show. I might. So, but then Fabian, being Fabian, my good friend, we did the hot sauce challenge together, and he eats hot sauce. He's a great guy. He's been to the studio a couple times, 3-4 times now, 3 times. Have a great time with him, so I can monk around with him just a little bit. And so he was drinking out of a cup. He had water in the cup because he's been talking all day. And so he grabbed his cup and he turned it all the way up and set it down. I knew it was empty. And I was getting up, giving my hugs and saying goodbye and this and that. And somebody started talking to him because everybody wants to talk to Fabian. Somebody started talking to him, and Terrence was there. He was awesome guy. And somebody started talking to him. He turned around, and I reached around the back of his side, kind of patted him on the side to say, "I'll see you later, buddy." And as soon as my hand let go, I got an Aganorsa coffee cup. Drunk by Fabian. How cool is that? Right? And then, I kind of feel bad. I don't. They had a lot of coffee cups. But Fabian's always about value added as well. And he had said that if people will, and Steven will do this once the video's dropped. This is just a little teaser for you 11 people that are watching, and everybody watches later. If you do the Aganorsa Flex, where you do your swole and you have your cigar, he says Aganorsa would be preferred, but a cigar. You do the Flex and you send the picture to Chief. Chief will decide, probably through a randomizer, who's going to win, and Fabian will mail you one of these nice Aganorsa cups. So another thing that you can get from PCA, that was from here. He wasn't drinking with that. That was just, good job, Bob. So, to sum it up, amazing day. Couple tight sphincter moments, being that I'm going to be interviewed by Isola Woods and Jonathan Drew tomorrow at noon. Pray for me. Very nerve-wracking. This is a big deal, right? But lots and lots of people, lots and lots of hugs, lots and lots of bumping into lots and lots of manufacturers. The tobacco industry is strong, if PCA is any testament to that, because there was a lot of people on the floor and they just weren't wandering. They were sitting in chairs. And if you're sitting in chairs, you're sitting with somebody and you are writing out paper. Those chairs are not there like a park bench. They're there for a reason. And that's to sell cigars, because that's what this is about. This is a trade show, right? And so looking at all the people that were writing paper, I really believe that the retailers are doubling down and making sure the humidor is not empty. So I believe that the only reason they do that is because they know that you're going to go buy some and empty it. So So I would say that the health of the premium cigar industry is still going well, which I'm excited about because I like smoking cigars. Let me close this up. Tomorrow, who do we got? We'll have a bunch of pop-ups. We gotta figure out a time with Foundation Nick Melillo, because our time's in Gian Hall, and he actually told Steven, said, hey, I really wanted, no, it was through an email, I really want to do a review with you, interview with you. Please find me, we'll figure it out, we'll put it together. So we're going to make sure that we do that, because I'm really looking forward to sitting down, talking with him, and also getting some of his cigars. 9 o'clock, we got Hoya de Nicaragua. At 11 o'clock, we've got Adventura, which I'm really looking forward to that as well. Let's see, 12 o'clock was Lef and Lam, but they were today. So Drew Estate is in their spot. 1 o'clock is STG, all right, General Cigar. They are going to take us through the whole kit and caboodle. We're going to get to see all the brands. We're going to get to see all the facings. We're going to get to see all the cigars. That's going to be an amazing interview. We're going to be doing some walking there. We're not going to be sitting in static, because they are going to give us a tour, a guided tour around their booth, which is a big booth. Then we've got at 3 o'clock, 2 o'clock, Roma Craft. 3 o'clock, a small boutique called House of Horvath. And then after that, we're going to do My Father's. We've got a couple hours in between, little breakups, so we'll try to pick up some other content. We've had people say, hey, if you get a chance, stop by. We're going to do our best to stop by and hang out. You're going to want to be here tomorrow, because I got my eye on some things that I'm going to snatch and steal, and I'm going to show them to you. And I hope you had a great time. I had a great time. It is chilly, and it is over an hour. And so I am going to cut this off and get out of this shirt, and get some long hammer pants on, and come back out and smoke cigars. I got homework to do. So I will see you later. Thanks for being here. And remember, if you need a cigar, try a Villiger cigar. This episode is brought to you by our friends at Villiger. I love you, and I'll see you later. Later, Tater. Where's my end button? There it is.